Hello, my beautiful dreamers. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance Audiobooks. Prologue: The Fifth Daughter. My name is Ellen, and I am the mistake, not explicitly. My parents never said those words, but I've known since I was old enough to understand that I wasn't supposed to exist. 4 daughters was already considered excessive in werewolf society. 4 daughters meant no male heir. 4 daughters meant my father's pack position would pass to his brother's son instead of his own child. 4 daughters was a disappointment. Then I came along. The 5th, the final, the absolute confirmation that my mother would bear no sons. Another girl, the midwife had said, and the silence that followed told me everything I needed to know about my welcome into this world. My sisters are beautiful, radiant, everything daughters should be in our world. Celeste, the eldest, has golden hair like sunshine and eyes like sapphires. She was chosen at 18 by an alpha from the Eastern Territories. A love match, a fairy tale, everything a first daughter should achieve. Rosalind, second-born, has auburn hair like autumn leaves and a laugh that makes males go weak. She was chosen at 19 by a wealthy beta. Not an alpha, but powerful enough. Prestigious enough, good enough. Marguerite, the third, has raven black hair and porcelain skin. She was chosen at 20 by the son of a high council member. Political brilliance, strategic perfection, everything my parents hoped for. Vivian, the fourth, has honey blonde hair and curves that make males stumble over their words. She was chosen at 18 by a pack heir. Young, but successful. Another triumph for the family. Then there's me. Ellen, the 5th, the afterthought. The one with mousy brown hair, unremarkable features, and a tendency to disappear into corners. I'm 21 now. 3 years past the age my sisters were chosen. 3 years of watching eligible males look through me like I'm invisible. 3 years of being the disappointment who remains unchosen while her sisters shine. And I've decided something. If I'm going to be invisible anyway, I might as well make it intentional. If no one sees me, no one can be disappointed by me. If I'm small enough, quiet enough, hidden enough, maybe I can just disappear. So I starve myself. Not dramatically, not obviously, just less. Eating just enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. Becoming smaller, thinner, less present, less visible, less there. And it's working. I'm fading. Becoming the ghost I was always meant to be. Until he sees me. The Alpha King. The one male I never expected to notice. The one whose interest changes everything. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how I got here. How 4 sisters got chosen while I learned to hide. How invisibility became my survival strategy. How the Alpha King found interest in the girl who was trying desperately not to be seen. Chapter 1. The Daughters, ages 8 to 16. Celeste's childhood, when I was 8. I was 8 years old when I first understood that my sisters were special, and I was not. Celeste, darling, stand up straight, Mother instructed. The visiting Alpha's son is watching. Smile. Show him how graceful you are. Celeste was 16 then, radiant, perfect. She stood straighter, smiled brighter, moved with practiced grace through the garden party my parents were hosting. The Alpha's son watched her like she was the only she-wolf in existence. She's going to make an excellent match, Father said proudly. Beautiful, graceful, well-trained. Any Alpha would be fortunate to claim her. I sat in the corner, wearing a dress that didn't quite fit, hair that wouldn't behave, trying to be invisible because even at 8, I knew I couldn't compete with Celeste's sunshine. And this one? A visiting she-wolf gestured to me. The youngest? Oh, that's Ellen. Yes, the 5th. She's quieter than her sisters. Quieter, code for less interesting, less valuable, less worth mentioning. I made myself smaller in my chair, wishing I could disappear entirely. Rosalind's lessons, when I was 10. At 10, I was enrolled in the same deportment classes as my sisters, learning how to walk, talk, behave like proper she-wolves. Rosalind, excellent. Your posture is perfect. The way you carry yourself is exactly what males look for in a mate." Rosalind glowed under the praise. She was 18 then, auburn-haired and confident. Everything I wasn't. "Ellen, shoulders back. Stop slouching. You'll never attract a mate if you can't even stand properly." I tried, truly tried. But my body didn't move like Rosalind's, didn't flow like water, didn't command attention. "She's hopeless," one instructor whispered to another, thinking I couldn't hear. "Nothing like her sisters? Mousy? Plain? She'll be lucky if anyone claims her at all." That night I looked in the mirror. Really looked. Saw what they saw. Mousy brown hair, unremarkable brown eyes, features that didn't stand out. A body that was just average. Not golden like Celeste. Not graceful like Rosalind. Not striking like Marguerite. Not curvaceous like Vivian. Just plain, forgettable, invisible. Maybe that was okay. Maybe being invisible meant I wouldn't disappoint anyone, wouldn't fail to live up to standards I could never meet anyway. Marguerite's debut, when I was 12. The year I turned 12, Marguerite made her formal debut at the Lunar Festival. She was 18, raven-haired, breathtaking. "She'll be chosen tonight," Mother predicted. "Look at her. Absolutely stunning. The High Counselor's son has been watching her for months." The festival was magnificent. Hundreds of wolves, music, dancing. She-wolves in their finest gowns, hoping to be chosen. Marguerite wore midnight blue, moved through the crowd like royalty. Males gravitated toward her like moths to flame. "All 3 of your daughters are remarkable," someone told my parents. "You must be so proud." 3 daughters, not 4. They'd forgotten I existed. I was there, in the corner, in a too simple dress, trying to be invisible. Succeeding. Marguerite was claimed that night by the High Counselor's son, exactly as predicted. Another perfect match, another triumph. 3 down, 2 to go, Father joked, but his eyes flicked to me when he said it, and I saw the doubt, the concern, the knowledge that while Vivian would likely be chosen easily, I was a different story. I was the problem, the one who might not get chosen at all. Vivian's transformation, when I was 14. At 14, I watched Vivian transform from a pretty girl into a devastating woman. She was 16 then, developing curves that made males trip over their own feet, honey blonde hair that caught light like magic, a smile that promised everything. "Vivian, you're going to be chosen quickly," Mother predicted. "Probably before you even debut. Look at you. Absolutely irresistible." Vivian preened under the attention, practiced her smiles, learned to use her beauty like a weapon. "Ellen, you should watch your sister. Learn how she carries herself, how she attracts attention. You'll need those skills when you debut." If I debut, I thought, if anyone even notices me enough to care whether I'm available. "She's nothing like Vivian," I heard the deportment instructor say. "None of the presence, none of the appeal. Honestly, I don't know what they'll do with her." Neither did I. I was 14 and already written off as the daughter who wouldn't measure up, the one who'd be lucky to attract any interest at all. So I started eating less, not consciously at first, just picking at meals, claiming I wasn't hungry, skipping breakfast, eating smaller portions, making myself smaller to match how small I felt inside. My realization, age 16. At 16, I had my debut, required by tradition, expected by society. I wore pale pink, simple, unremarkable, like me. "Try to smile," Mother instructed. "Try to be appealing. Your sisters were all chosen by this age. You need to make an effort." I tried, truly, smiled, made conversation, tried to be noticed. Males looked past me, through me, around me, focused on the other debutantes, the prettier ones, the more interesting ones. "Ellen, you need to try harder," Father said after the festival. "You barely spoke to anyone. How do you expect to be chosen if you don't make an effort?" I didn't know how to explain that I had tried, that it didn't matter, that I was invisible no matter what I did. That night, I made a decision. If I was going to be invisible anyway, I'd make it intentional. I'd stop trying to compete with my sister's beauty and just fade, become the ghost everyone already treated me as. I stopped attending social events, stopped trying to be noticed, started eating even less, became quieter, smaller, less present. Ellen is going through a phase, Mother explained to concerned relatives. She'll come around. But I didn't come around. I retreated further, made myself smaller, hoped that if I was invisible enough, no one would notice I was a disappointment. It worked. Sort of. People stopped expecting things from me. Stopped being disappointed when I failed to measure up. But I also stopped existing. Even to myself. Chapter 2. The Choosings, ages 18 to 21. Celeste is claiming, my age 18. I was 18 when Celeste was officially claimed. She was 26, had been courting Alpha Theron of the Eastern Pack for 2 years. The claiming ceremony was magnificent. Hundreds of guests, flowers, music, celebration. Celeste looks radiant, guests murmured, like a true Luna. Alpha Theron is so fortunate. I stood in the corner, wearing a dress Mother had chosen, eating nothing from the buffet, watching my sister glow with happiness. Ellen, you're 18 now, an aunt observed. Celeste was younger than you when Theron started courting her. Have you had any interest? No, Aunt Cordelia, no interest. Well, you must try harder. Put yourself forward. You can't hide in corners and expect males to notice you. But I could hide, and I would. Because putting myself forward meant inevitable rejection, meant being compared to my sisters, meant being found wanting. Better to hide and be ignored than to try and be rejected. Rosalind's claiming, my age 19. At 19, I attended Rosalind's claiming ceremony. She was 27, being claimed by Beta Marcus of the Northern Pack. 2 daughters excellently matched, Father boasted. Celeste to an Alpha, Rosalind to a wealthy Beta. We're very fortunate. I was thinner then, noticeably. People commented on it sometimes. Ellen, are you eating enough? You look so thin. I'm fine, just not very hungry lately. You need to maintain your strength. Keep your appearance up. You'll never attract a mate if you let yourself go. Let myself go. As if I'd ever had anything to let go of. As if I'd ever been attractive enough to worry about maintaining. I ate a few bites to satisfy whoever was watching, then retreated, made myself scarce, invisible. Have you had any interest yet? Rosalind asked me kindly. Any males courting you? No, none. You should try to be more social, attend more gatherings. Males can't court you if they don't know you exist. They knew I existed. They just didn't care. I was the 5th daughter, the plain one, the disappointment. Better to be invisible than to confirm their low expectations. Marguerite's claiming, my age 20. Marguerite's claiming happened when I was 20. She was 28. Being claimed by Counselor Devon's son, a political match that elevated our family's status significantly. 3 daughters matched brilliantly, Mother crowed. Celeste to an Alpha, Rosalind to wealth, Marguerite to political power. We've done so well. 3 daughters, not 4. They still forgot to count me. I was very thin by then, eating minimal amounts, just enough to function, making myself smaller with every passing day. Ellen, you need to eat more, the pack healer said during a mandatory checkup. Your weight is concerning. Are you struggling with something? No, I just have a small appetite. This isn't healthy. You're malnourished. Intentionally, I suspect. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're starving yourself. Why? How could I explain? That being smaller felt safer. That taking up less space meant less disappointment. That fading felt like the only control I had. I just don't have much appetite. That's all. She didn't believe me. but she couldn't force me to eat. So I continued. Smaller, thinner, less visible, exactly as I wanted. Vivian's claiming, my age 21. 3 months ago, Vivian was claimed. She was 19, barely debuted, chosen almost immediately by a pack heir who'd been obsessed with her since her debut. 4 daughters successfully matched, father announced proudly. All to excellent males. We're blessed. 4 daughters. Finally counted, but only because Vivian's claiming was complete. I still didn't count in the success story. Ellen, you're 21 now, Mother said after Vivian's ceremony. 3 years past debut age. We need to discuss your situation. What situation? You're unchosen, unclaimed, still living at home while your sisters have all moved on to their matings. This is concerning. I'm sorry I'm a disappointment. Don't be dramatic. You're not a disappointment. You're just not trying. You hide. You don't socialize. You barely eat. How do you expect to attract a mate if you don't make an effort? Maybe I don't want to attract a mate. Don't be ridiculous. Every she-wolf wants a mate. You're just being difficult. But we're going to fix this. There's a gathering next month. The Alpha King is hosting. You're going. And you're going to try. Really try. Understood? I understood. I was being forced into visibility. Forced to try again. Forced to set myself up for inevitable rejection. But I had a month. A month to make myself even smaller. Even less visible. Even more invisible. If I had to attend, at least I could ensure no one actually saw me. Chapter 3. The Starvation. 3 months. Month 1. The Decision. After Vivian's claiming, I made a conscious decision. If I was being forced to attend the Alpha King's gathering, I'd make absolutely certain no one noticed me there. I started eating even less. 1 meal a day, small portions, just enough to keep functioning. Ellen, you barely touched your breakfast, Mother observed. I'm not hungry. I'll eat at lunch. But I wouldn't eat at lunch either. Maybe a few bites at dinner. Just enough to avoid questions. The weight dropped quickly. I was already thin. Now I became skeletal. Bones visible. Skin pale. Energy minimal. You look terrible, Vivian said when she visited. Are you sick? I'm fine. Just busy. Haven't had much appetite. You need to eat. You're wasting away. Good, I thought. If I waste away enough, maybe I'll disappear entirely. Maybe at the gathering I'll be so invisible that no one will even register my presence. Month 2. The physical changes. By month 2, the physical changes were obvious. I was gaunt, hollow-eyed, fragile-looking. Ellen, this is getting serious, the pack healer said during another checkup. Your weight is dangerously low. You're malnourished. This could cause permanent damage. I'm eating, just not much. You're starving yourself, intentionally. This is an eating disorder. You need help. I don't need help. I need to be left alone. You need intervention. I'm recommending you to a specialist. No, I'm an adult. You can't force me into treatment. She couldn't, so she documented her concerns and let me leave. And I continued. Eating less, becoming smaller, fading. My clothes hung off my frame. My face was all angles. My energy was minimal. Perfect. The more I faded physically, the more invisible I became socially. People stopped inviting me to things, stopped expecting me to participate, stopped seeing me entirely. Exactly what I wanted. Month 3. The breaking point. 3 months of intensive starvation brought me to the breaking point. I was skeletal, weak, barely functioning. Ellen, you're going to die if you continue this, Mother said, tears in her eyes. Please, eat something. Get help. Stop doing this to yourself. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're killing yourself. Why? Because you haven't been chosen? Because you're not like your sisters? That's not a reason to starve yourself. I'm not starving myself. I just don't have an appetite. You're lying. You're intentionally not eating, making yourself smaller, making yourself invisible. I see what you're doing, and it's killing you. Maybe that's better than being a disappointment. You're not a disappointment. You're my daughter. I love you. Please, eat something, anything. Just don't do this. I ate a few bites, enough to satisfy her, then retreated to my room, where I looked in the mirror and saw exactly what I'd created. A ghost. Pale, skeletal, barely there, almost invisible. Perfect. The Alpha King's gathering was in 1 week. I'd be there. But I'd be so invisible, so unremarkable, so faded that no one would notice me. I'd fulfill the requirement of attending, but I'd do it as a ghost, as nothing, as the invisible fifth daughter I was always meant to be. The final week, the week before the gathering, I barely ate at all. A few bites here and there, just enough to avoid complete collapse. "You need to wear this dress," Mother said, holding up a gown. A beautiful gown, far too large for my skeletal frame. "It won't fit. We'll have it altered. You'll look lovely." "I'll look ridiculous. A skeleton in a pretty dress." "Stop talking like that. You're going. You're going to try. And maybe, just maybe, someone will see past whatever this is and recognize your value." No one would see me. I'd made certain of that. I was invisible, faded, gone. The dress was altered, fitted to my skeletal frame. It looked absurd. A ball gown on a ghost. "You look delicate," the seamstress said carefully. "Like you might break." I might. I was barely holding together. Bones and skin and willpower. Nothing more. But I'd attend. I'd fulfill the requirement. And then I'd retreat back into invisibility. Where I belonged? I had no idea that the Alpha King would see me, really see me, despite my best efforts to be invisible, that his interest would change everything. Chapter 4. The Gathering Arrival. The Alpha King's gathering was held at the royal palace. Hundreds of wolves, all dressed in their finest, all hoping to be noticed. I arrived with my parents, wearing the altered gown, skeletal, pale, trying to be invisible despite being physically present. "Stand up straight," Mother whispered. "Try to look healthy. Try to smile." I stood straighter. It made my bones more prominent. I attempted a smile. It looked more like a grimace. "Just try," she pleaded. "Please." I'd try, to disappear, to not be noticed, to get through this evening without humiliation. The initial observation. The gathering was overwhelming. So many wolves, so much noise, so much visibility. I found a corner, my usual refuge, pressed myself against the wall, tried to blend into the wallpaper. "Who is that?" I heard someone whisper. "She looks ill. Should someone help her?" "That's Ellen, the fifth daughter, the one who hasn't been chosen." "I can see why. She looks half dead, absolutely skeletal. What male would want that?" Their words confirmed what I already knew. I was unappealing, undesirable, better off invisible. I stayed in my corner, watching other she-wolves laugh and flirt and charm males, watching from the shadows, where I belonged. The king's notice. I didn't notice when he first saw me. I was too focused on being invisible, on not drawing attention, on surviving the evening. But later I learned that Alpha King Darius had noticed me within minutes of arriving, had asked about me, had been told I was the fifth daughter, the unchosen one, the disappointment. And rather than dismiss me like everyone else, he'd become interested. "Who is the she-wolf in the corner?" he'd asked his beta. "The thin one, trying to disappear." "That's Ellen, daughter of Beta Garrett. She has 4 sisters, all successfully mated. She's the only one left. Rumor is she's been refusing to eat, trying to make herself invisible. Trying or succeeding. Both, I suppose. No one pays attention to her. She's practically a ghost. Bring her to me." The summons. I was lost in my own thoughts when a royal guard approached. "Lady Ellen, the Alpha King requests your presence." Terror. Absolute terror. The king wanted to see me? Why? Had I done something wrong? Violated some protocol? Are you certain? He wants to see me? Yes, my lady. Please follow me. I followed, shakily, my skeletal legs barely supporting my weight, my heart racing, my mind spinning with fear. The king stood near his throne, tall, powerful, silver eyes that seemed to see everything. Lady Ellen, he said, his voice deep, commanding. Thank you for coming. Your Majesty? I curtsied, nearly lost my balance, caught myself, stood trembling before him. You're very thin, he observed, not cruelly, just factually. Are you ill? No, Your Majesty, I'm fine. You don't look fine. You look like you're starving. Are you eating enough? How did I answer that? Admit I was intentionally starving myself? Lie and claim I was eating normally? I have a small appetite, Your Majesty. I'm naturally thin. No one is naturally that thin. You're skeletal. Your bones are visible through your skin. This isn't natural. This is intentional. Isn't it? He saw through me, saw past my lies, saw what I was doing. I prefer to eat lightly, Your Majesty. That's not eating lightly. That's starving. Why? I don't understand the question. Why are you starving yourself? What purpose does it serve? I couldn't answer, couldn't explain, couldn't admit that becoming invisible felt like the only control I had. I'm sorry if I've offended, Your Majesty. I'll leave. Stay, please. I'm not offended. I'm concerned. You're deliberately making yourself invisible, fading, disappearing. I want to understand why. The conversation. We moved to a private alcove, away from the crowd, where we could speak without being overheard. Tell me about your sisters, the king said. My sisters, Your Majesty. Yes, I've heard you have 4, all successfully mated, all beautiful, all everything you're apparently not. Tell me about them. Celeste is the eldest. She's mated to an alpha. She's beautiful, golden, perfect. And the second? Rosalind. She's graceful, charming, mated to a wealthy beta. Third? Marguerite. Striking, intelligent, mated to a counselor's son. Fourth? Vivian. She's radiant, curvaceous. She was chosen almost immediately at her debut. And you? I'm the 5th, the mistake, the plain one, the one no one chose. So you decided to make yourself even less choosable? By starving yourself? By fading? If I'm going to be invisible anyway, I might as well make it intentional. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. His words hit me like a physical blow. Sad. My entire existence was sad. My coping mechanism was sad. Everything about me was sad. I'm sorry to disappoint, Your Majesty. You're not disappointing me. You're breaking my heart. A she-wolf so convinced she's worthless that she's literally trying to disappear. That's not disappointing. That's devastating. The revelation. Why do you care? I asked, genuinely confused. You're the Alpha King. You could have any she-wolf in the kingdom. Why waste time on the invisible 5th daughter? Because you're not invisible to me. You're the most visible wolf in this room. That's impossible. I've made myself invisible. No one sees me. I see you. I saw you the moment I entered this room. Saw you trying to disappear into the corner. Saw you fading. And instead of looking away like everyone else, I wanted to understand. Wanted to know why. Why does it matter? Because every wolf matters. Especially the ones trying to disappear. Especially the ones who've been told they're not enough so many times that they've started to believe it. I am not enough. My sisters are beautiful, successful, chosen. I'm none of those things. I'm the failure, the disappointment, the one who wasn't supposed to exist. Who told you that? No one had to tell me. I've known since I was a child. 4th daughter was already too many. 5th was excessive. I was the confirmation that my mother couldn't bear sons. The final proof of failure. That's not your failure. That's your parents' disappointment projected onto you. You didn't fail. You were failed. His words resonated, deeply, truthfully. I had been failed. By parents who saw me as a disappointment. By a society that valued beauty over worth. By a system that measured she-wolves by their ability to be chosen. It doesn't change anything, I whispered. I'm still unchosen, still invisible, still the mistake. You're not invisible to me, and you're not a mistake. You're a she-wolf who's been hurt so badly that you're trying to erase yourself. But I see you, all of you, and I'm interested. Interested? In what? In you, in understanding you, in seeing who you are beneath the starvation and the fading, in discovering the she-wolf you could be if you stopped trying to disappear. Chapter 5. The Interest, 4 weeks. Week 1. The Invitation. After the gathering, the king sent an invitation. To me, specifically. Lady Ellen is invited to dine with Alpha King Darius. Tomorrow evening. Private dinner. Royal Palace. Mother was ecstatic. The king wants to dine with you. This is incredible. You must wear your best dress. Try to eat beforehand so you can manage a full meal. This could be your chance. My chance for what? To be rejected by the most powerful alpha in the kingdom? To confirm that even the king couldn't find me worthwhile? But I went. Wore a dress. Tried to eat something beforehand. Failed. Arrived at the palace skeletal and terrified. The first dinner. Lady Ellen, thank you for coming. The king greeted me personally, led me to a private dining room, intimate, just the two of us. Your Majesty, thank you for inviting me. Please sit. I've had the kitchen prepare a variety of dishes. I hope you'll find something appealing. The table was laden with food, more food than I'd eaten in months combined. I'm not very hungry, Your Majesty. I know, but I'd like you to try. Choose something. Anything. Even just a few bites. I selected the smallest portion possible. A few vegetables. Barely anything. That's all? That's what you consider a meal? I have a small appetite, Your Majesty. You keep saying that. But I don't think it's true. I think you've trained yourself to not eat. Convinced yourself you don't deserve nourishment. Am I wrong? He wasn't wrong, but I couldn't admit it. I'm just not hungry. Try anyway, please, for me. A few bites. Humor the king. I ate. A few bites. It felt wrong. Heavy. Like I was taking up space I didn't deserve. Good. Now tell me about yourself. Not your sisters, not your family. You. Who is Ellen? I don't know how to answer that. Start anywhere. What do you enjoy? What interests you? What would you do if you weren't trying to disappear? I thought about it. Realized I didn't know. I'd spent so long making myself invisible that I'd forgotten who I might be underneath. I used to like reading, I said quietly. Before I started fading. I'd read for hours, get lost in stories. What kind of stories? Adventures, romances, anything that let me escape my reality. What else? I used to draw. Nothing good. Just sketches, landscapes, animals, things I observed. That sounds lovely. Do you still draw? No, I stopped. It felt frivolous, unnecessary. Taking up time I should spend being less visible. Being less visible isn't a productive use of time. Drawing is. Will you draw something for me? Your Majesty? I'd like to see your art. Will you draw something? Anything. Bring it to our next dinner. Next dinner? I'd like to see you again. If you're willing. Same time next week? He wanted to see me again. The Alpha King wanted another dinner, another conversation. Why? I asked. Why are you doing this? Because you interest me, and because I think beneath the fading, there's a remarkable she-wolf. I'd like to discover who she is. Will you let me? Week 2. The drawing. I spent the week trying to draw something. Anything. My hands shook, my vision blurred from lack of nutrition, but I managed a simple sketch. A wolf in moonlight. Nothing special, but mine. The second dinner was similar to the first. Food I couldn't eat. Conversation that unnerved me. The king watching me with those silver eyes that saw too much. "You brought a drawing," he observed, seeing the folded paper I carried. "It's not very good. I'm out of practice. May I see it?" I handed it over. Watched him unfold it, study it, his expression unreadable. "This is beautiful," he said finally. "The way you captured the moonlight, the emotion in the wolf's posture. You have talent." "It's just a sketch. It's more than that. It's art. It's expression. It's you putting yourself on paper. That's remarkable." No one had ever called my sketches remarkable. No one had ever cared about my drawings. "Thank you, Your Majesty." "Will you draw more? Keep practicing? I'd like to see your development." "If you wish, Your Majesty. I do wish. Now eat something. You barely touched your food last week. Try to eat a bit more tonight." I ate a bit more, still minimal, but more than before. Week 3. The resistance. By the third week, I was confused. The king kept inviting me to dinner, kept talking to me, kept acting interested. But why? "What do you want from me?" I asked during the third dinner. "I don't understand your interest. I'm nobody. Nothing. Why waste time on dinners with me?" "You're not nobody. You're Ellen. A she-wolf with talent and intelligence and potential. A she-wolf who's been told she's worthless so many times that she's trying to erase herself. I want to show you that you're wrong, that you matter, that you're worth seeing." "But why? What do you gain? Does everything need to be transactional? Can't I simply want to know you? Spend time with you? Help you see your own worth?" "No one does anything without reason. My reason is that you deserve better than invisibility, better than starvation, better than being the forgotten fifth daughter. You deserve to be seen, valued, chosen. I've never been chosen, never will be. I'm not choosable." "You're wrong. You absolutely are. You're being chosen right now. By me. I'm choosing to see you, to spend time with you, to value you. That's choice." His words shook me. He was choosing me? The Alpha King was choosing the invisible fifth daughter? I don't understand. "You will. In time. For now, just let yourself be seen. Let yourself eat. Let yourself exist without apologizing for it. Can you do that?" I didn't know if I could, but I'd try. For him. Because he asked. Week 4. The shift by the 4th week, something had shifted. I was still thin, still struggling to eat, still fighting the urge to disappear, but I was also present, more than I'd been in years, because the king saw me, valued me, chose me. "You look less skeletal," he observed during the 4th dinner. "Are you eating more?" "A bit. It's hard. Eating feels wrong, like I don't deserve the nourishment." "You deserve every bit of nourishment, every meal, every moment of health. You deserve to exist without starving yourself." "I'm trying to believe that." "Keep trying. It gets easier. And I'll keep reminding you, as many times as it takes." "Why do you care so much?" "Because someone should. Because you've been invisible for too long. Because you deserve to be seen, to be valued, to be chosen." "You keep saying chosen. What are you choosing me for?" "Everything. Companionship, conversation, courtship if you're willing. Eventually, more, if you want it. Courtship. The king wanted to court me. The invisible fifth daughter. The disappointment. The mistake. You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious. I'm interested in you, Ellen. Genuinely. Deeply. I want to court you, properly. If you'll allow it. But my sisters were chosen by alphas and betas and counselors. You're the king. You could have anyone. I want you, not your sisters, not anyone else. You. The she-wolf who draws wolves in moonlight and tries to disappear and slowly learning to be seen. You. I don't understand why. Because you're remarkable, resilient, talented, beautiful in ways that have nothing to do with physical appearance. You're exactly who I want. Will you let me court you? I should say no. Should protect myself from inevitable disappointment. Should retreat into invisibility where it was safe. But I didn't. Because for the first time in my life, someone was choosing me. Really choosing me. Not settling. Not taking what was left. Choosing. Yes, I whispered. Yes, you can court me. His smile was radiant. Thank you. You won't regret this. I promise. Chapter 6. The Courtship. 6 months month. 1. Public acknowledgement. When the king announced he was courting me, the invisible fifth daughter, the shock was universal. He's courting Ellen, the unchosen one? The skeletal girl who hides in corners? This must be some kind of political move. There's no way he's genuinely interested in her. Maybe he feels sorry for her. Pity courtship. It'll end once he realizes she's not worth the effort. The whispers hurt, but the king's actions spoke louder. He took me to public events, walked with me, talked with me, made it clear I was his choice, not his obligation. His choice. People are talking, I said nervously, saying terrible things, questioning your judgment. Let them talk. I know my own mind. I chose you. That's what matters. But your reputation, my reputation is strong enough to withstand gossip. Yours will be too. Let them talk. Eventually they'll see what I see. That you're remarkable. Month 2. The eating. Month 2 of courtship focused on eating. The king made it his mission to help me develop a healthier relationship with food. I've hired a nutritionist, he announced. She'll work with you, help you learn to eat properly again, rebuild your health. I don't need. You do need. You're malnourished, skeletal. This isn't healthy. Let me help you. The nutritionist was gentle, patient, non-judgmental. Your body is in starvation mode, she explained. It'll take time to rebuild. We'll start slow. Small, frequent meals. Nothing overwhelming. Just consistent nourishment. It was hard. Every meal felt like failure. Like taking up space I didn't deserve. Like being visible when I should be hidden. But the king encouraged me. Sat with me during meals, praised every bite I managed. You're doing so well. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Slowly, my body started to change. Not dramatically, but noticeably. Bones became less prominent. Color returned to my skin. Energy increased slightly. You look healthier, my mother observed during a visit. The king is good for you. He's patient, more patient than I deserve. You deserve all the patience in the world. I'm sorry I didn't see how much you were struggling. Sorry I let you become invisible. Month 3. The sisters. Month 3 brought an uncomfortable family dinner. All 4 of my sisters, their mates, my parents, the king, and me. So you're courting our little sister, Celeste said to the king. That's unexpected. Why unexpected? The king asked calmly. Well, Ellen is. She's not like us. She's quieter, plainer, less visible. She's perfect exactly as she is. I didn't mean offense. Then don't give it. Your sister is remarkable. The fact that you failed to notice doesn't diminish her worth. It reflects poorly on your observation skills. My sisters looked shocked. No one had ever defended me like that. Especially not against them. Ellen has always been sensitive, Rosalind said. A bit dramatic. The starving thing was attention-seeking. The starving thing was a cry for help that all of you ignored, the king corrected. Your sister was literally disappearing, and none of you noticed, or cared. That's shameful. Your Majesty, we didn't realize. Exactly. You didn't realize. Because you were too focused on yourselves, on being chosen, on being successful. You forgot about the sister who was suffering. That ends now. Ellen is under my protection. Anyone who hurts her, including family, answers to me. The dinner was tense after that, but I felt protected, valued, defended. Thank you, I said to the king afterward, for standing up for me. No one's ever done that before. They should have, but I will. Always. You're mine to protect now. Anyone who hurts you faces me. Month 4. The proposal. 4 months into courtship, the king proposed. Not with fanfare. Not at a public event. Privately. In his personal gardens. Ellen, these 4 months have been the best of my life. Getting to know you. Watch you heal. See you become more visible. I don't want to court you for years. I want to mate you, claim you, make you my queen. Will you accept? I'm not queen material. I'm nobody. The 5th daughter. The mistake. You're the she-wolf I love. The one I choose. The one I want by my side. Not despite who you are. Because of who you are. Will you be my mate? My queen? I should say no. Should protect myself. Should assume this was temporary insanity on his part. But I didn't. Because he saw me. Really saw me. And chose me anyway. Yes. Yes, I'll be your mate. Your queen. Yes. Month 5. The preparation. Month 5 was preparation for the mating ceremony, and continued eating recovery. You need to be strong enough for the ceremony, the nutritionist said. It's physically demanding. You need nutrition. Real nutrition. Not minimal eating. I was trying. Truly. Eating more. Gaining weight slowly. Becoming more visible physically. You look beautiful, the king said, seeing me in a pre-ceremony fitting. Healthy. Vibrant. Alive. I feel strange. Taking up more space. Being more visible. You're supposed to take up space. You're going to be queen. Queens don't hide. They shine. I don't know how to shine. You already do. You just haven't noticed, but everyone else has. They're starting to see what I've always seen. That you're remarkable. Month 6. The ceremony. The mating ceremony was magnificent. Hundreds of wolves, all watching as the invisible 5th daughter became queen. I, Ellen, accept Darius as my mate, my king, my choice. I, Darius, accept Ellen as my mate, my queen, my choice. The bond snapped into place, silver and strong, connecting us completely. You're mine now, he whispered. Forever. Never invisible again. Always seen. Always chosen. Always mine. Always yours, I agreed. Thank you for seeing me, for choosing me, for refusing to let me disappear. Thank you for letting me, for surviving, for becoming visible, for being exactly who you are. Chapter 7. The revelation 6 months later. The pregnancy. 6 months after the mating, I discovered I was pregnant. The palace healer confirmed it with a smile. You're expecting, Your Majesty, about 6 weeks along. Congratulations. I was terrified. Pregnancy meant gaining weight, becoming even more visible, taking up even more space. I can't get bigger. I'm already struggling with being visible. Your body needs nourishment now, more than ever. The baby needs you to eat properly, to be healthy. Can you do that? Could I? Could I eat for 2 when eating for 1 still felt wrong? I'll try. For the baby. I'll try. The king was ecstatic about the pregnancy, and supportive about my fears. I know this is hard for you. Being pregnant means being visibly pregnant, taking up space, being seen. But you're creating life. That's worth being visible for. I'm scared. I know, but I'm here. We'll face this together. You're not invisible anymore. You're queen. And soon, you'll be mother. Both roles worth being seen for. The apology. 2 months into the pregnancy, my family requested an audience. All 4 sisters. Both parents. We owe you an apology, Celeste said formally. We failed you, as sisters, as family. We let you become invisible, let you starve, let you suffer. We're sorry. We were so focused on being chosen ourselves that we didn't notice you were disappearing, Rosalind added. That's inexcusable. We should have seen, should have helped, should have cared. I'm sorry I called your starvation attention-seeking, Marguerite said quietly. It wasn't. It was survival, and I'm sorry I dismissed it. I'm sorry I was chosen so easily while you struggled, Vivian said. I should have used my success to help you, not to make you feel worse. We're sorry, Mother said, tears streaming. We failed you as parents, let you become the forgotten fifth daughter, let you believe you were a mistake. You weren't. You aren't. You're remarkable. The king sees it. We should have seen it first. Their apologies meant something. Not everything, but something. Thank you, I said. I forgive you. But things are different now. I'm not invisible anymore. I'm seen, chosen, queen. I won't go back to being hidden. We don't want you to, Father said. We want you to shine, as you're doing. We're proud of you, finally, properly proud. The birth. The baby came 8 months later. A daughter. Perfect. Healthy. Loud. She's beautiful, the king said, holding her. Just like her mother. I'm not beautiful. You are. You've always been. You just couldn't see it. But I see it. Our daughter will see it. You're beautiful. Visible. Chosen. Perfect exactly as you are. I looked at my daughter. Realized I didn't want her to ever feel invisible. Ever feel like she needed to disappear. Ever feel like she was a mistake. I want her to always feel seen, I said. Always feel chosen. Always know she matters. She will. Because she has you as a mother. You who knows what invisibility feels like and will never let her experience it. You who survived by disappearing and will teach her to shine. You're exactly the mother she needs. Epilogue. 2 years later, standing in the royal nursery, watching my daughter play, I reflected on how far I'd come. 2 years ago, I was skeletal, starving, trying to disappear, convinced I was a mistake, the forgotten fifth daughter, the invisible one. Now I was queen, mother, healthy, visible, chosen. What are you thinking about? Darius asked, wrapping his arms around me from behind. How different things are. How I used to try so hard to be invisible. How you refused to let me disappear. Best decision I ever made. Seeing you. Choosing you. Loving you. I still struggle sometimes. With eating. With being visible. With believing I deserve this. I know. And I'll keep reminding you. Every day. That you deserve everything. That you're remarkable. That being seen is better than being hidden. My sisters visit tomorrow. With their children. For the family gathering. How do you feel about that? Strange. They're trying. Being better sisters. Acknowledging their failure. But it's complicated. Understandable. They failed you for years. They don't get automatic forgiveness just because you're queen now. I've forgiven them, mostly, but I haven't forgotten. Can't forget. The years of being invisible, of starving, of watching them be chosen while I hid. You don't have to forget. Just move forward. Build new relationships. Let them be better. But on your terms, not theirs. Our daughter toddled over, demanding attention, wanting to be seen. Mama, see? I see you, darling. I always see you. And I meant it. I'd always see her. Always make sure she felt visible, chosen, valued, everything I wasn't for too long. You're an amazing mother, Darius said softly. She'll never feel invisible. Never feel like she needs to disappear. Because you'll make sure she's always seen. Always. No child of mine will ever starve themselves for invisibility. Ever feel like being seen is dangerous. Ever hide because shining feels impossible. She's lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have you. You saw me when everyone else looked away, chose me when I was trying to disappear, refused to let me be invisible. Because you were worth seeing, worth choosing, worth everything. Looking at my family, my mate, my daughter, my life, I realized something. Being seen was better than being hidden. Being chosen was better than being ignored. Being visible was better than being invisible. I'd spent years trying to disappear, starving myself into nothingness, hiding while my sisters shone. But then the Alpha King found interest in the she-wolf, trying to be unseen. And everything changed. I was still the fifth daughter. But I wasn't a mistake anymore. I was a choice. His choice. My own choice. A choice to be visible. To be seen. To exist without apologizing. And I'd never be invisible again. Sometimes the most powerful thing is being seen when you're trying to hide. Being chosen when you think you're unchosen. Being valued when you've convinced yourself you're worthless. The Alpha King saw me and refused to look away. And I became visible. Finally, truly, wonderfully visible. No more starvation. No more hiding. No more disappearing. Just being seen, chosen, loved, exactly as I was meant to be. Closing. And there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The story of Ellen and Darius, proof that invisibility is sometimes survival. Being seen can be terrifying, and sometimes the right person refuses to let you disappear no matter how hard you try. Did this story move you? Did you feel Ellen's struggle to be invisible and her journey to being seen? Did you believe in Darius's determination to choose her? Then show me some love. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me what you think about the King's refusal to let her hide, and subscribe to Luna's Romance audiobooks so you never miss another tale of being hidden and being found. I want to know, have you ever felt invisible? Have you ever tried to disappear? How did you find your way back to being seen? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, my dreamers, may you always be seen by those who matter. May your hiding become unnecessary. And may you find someone who chooses you exactly as you are. This is Luna, signing off. Sweet dreams, beautiful souls.